Hey everybody, Fulcher Rash. Welcome back to 365 Days of Irish Tenor Banjo Tunes. Today we are on day 215. Back from a couple weeks vacation, which was absolutely wonderful, a really good refresher. But as promised, I'm going to try and spend a little more time on these now. During vacation I played quite a few just quick one-offs because that's all I could fit in. So today we're going to be doing, we got a few things going on actually, I guess. So number one, I got a new strap while I was on vacation. It's quite a heavy leather strap, nice and wide. I'm hoping it's going to distribute the weight a little bit better, although it's kind of on my lap too. But very thick, heavy leather. I had a really hard time getting it on the banjo. And I also used to use this little thing. It's by String Joy, but it kind of looks like the rubber ring on like a Grolsch or a flip-top bottle if you're used to those, and it won't fit with this thick leather. The other thing was I was starting to run out of picks. I was down to my, when I got back from vacation, I was down to my last one when I got back from vacation. I think I had a few when I left, but I was using these String Joy Jumbo Jazz 0.5s. Quite a nice pick. I really like the feel of them. They kind of they don't have those grippers on them, but yet they seem to hold well in your hand. And it was something Enda recommended, and I'm a bit of a sucker for that kind of thing, so I tried them out and was quite happy with them. Problem is, you can't get them on the website anymore. They were out of stock for the longest time. I signed up for the email, tell me when you're got stock back in, and they did, and I went there and they were out of stock immediately again. So I picked up, while I was in the city, a couple of different ones to try. Both Dunlop tortoises, or Tortex, Tortex. The 0.5 and the 0.6. Now these are quite interesting. If I hold them up to the Jumbo Jazz, they're actually, the Jumbo Jazz from String Joy is actually quite small for a Jumbo Jazz, supposedly. The Tortex is actually slightly bigger. The only difference is I like the point a little bit better on the String Joys. But the 0.5 String Joy feels heavier by a reasonable amount than the 0.6 of the Tortex, and the 0.5, and the 0.6 of the Tortex feels actually just slightly heavier than the String Joy. But after kind of goofing around with them today, I have settled on I will be playing now with these Dunlop Tortexes 0.6. The nice thing about them is they're easily obtained in almost any music store, as opposed to the String Joy, which I always had to order, which is a bit of a pain, especially when you're not in the States and you had to pay shipping, etc., etc., etc. So that's one thing. The other thing, we're going to be doing something a little bit more involved today. We're going to be doing a slide. So I went through, when I got home, I caught up on writing down all the tunes I had played, added them to my list. I have only played 30% of the polkas versus 71% of the jigs, or 63% of the reels. Slip jigs, not too bad. Barn dances, not too bad. Hornpipes, not too bad. Slides are also very low. Slides are by far the lowest. So we're going to play a slide today. It is a slide in G. It is called Merrily Kissed the Quaker. The funny thing about this is, on Endas' site, he calls this a slip jig and writes it in 6/8. And in the Banjo Buddy book, they call it a slide and they write it in 12/8. Notes are more or less the same, so I don't know. Anyways, I am rambling. We are going to do a slow version of the Banjo Buddies version of Merrily Kissed the Quaker, and then I'm going to try and do a more involved, ornamented version from Endas Hill's Patreon site. Yeah, so let's get into it with Merrily Kissed the Quaker, a slide or a slip jig, whichever you want to call it, in G. Okay, so that was the simple version as written in the Banjo Buddy book. Now we're going to try Endas version. Okay, so the Endas version I've tried playing a couple times. It's more difficult than I expected. I think what we're going to do is play it slow, and then some people who maybe want to try playing around with ornamentation get an idea of how it goes. I don't think I can do this one at a moderate pace and get it right, but let's go through it anyways. guessing. I'm having a real problem reading the sheet music as part of it because my printer at home sucks and 3s look like old-fashioned A's, and not much of an excuse, I guess. And I'm having a really hard time using this pick for triplets. I'm just not used to it yet. So whatever, it was worth the old college try, as they say, and I think on a sad, crappy note, we will end it there tonight. See you all later. Slán. Gotta have some bad days, I guess.